Hello and welcome to my Heart Gold hardcore Nuzlocke with only flying type Pokemon. Heart Gold is one of my favourite games of all time, so I'm super excited to jump into this. And not only that, but using the flying type, which I don't think I get to use too often in all of my Nuzlocke challenges. I'll be operating with standard hardcore Nuzlocke rules for this challenge, which means simply you can only catch the first flying type Pokemon that you can encounter on each route. No healing in battle, alongside only playing on set mode throughout the whole challenge. If a Pokemon faints in battle, it's considered dead, so I've got to release it or stick it in the box for the rest of the run. And of course, most importantly, no overlevelling past the next gym leader's ace or the final Elite Four member's ace, otherwise, let's be honest, the game's going to be a bit too easy. So, as you can see on screen now, we have a whole host of encounters available that we can play with. A nice variety of encounters and types, secondary types, so hopefully should be a decent and fun run. You might notice that there's no Gyarados on screen or Dragonite. The Gyarados I won't be allowing. This is way too overpowered, and I think if you think of flying types, you're probably not going to be thinking of Gyarados anyway. And Dragonite we can't really get until we take on Red in the end, so I don't really want to just stick him in the team if we've not used him the entire run anyway. I won't be showing all the catches on screen, only ones that actually are useful for the run or that I end up using. There's no point filling 5-10 minutes catching Hoot Hoots and etc. Sorry Hoot Hoot, when I won't be using it for the run anyway. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So as usual, in Pokemon we start by talking to our mum, who in most Pokemon games is more than eager to get us out of the house for some reason, despite us being 10 years old. But she directs us over to Professor Elm's flat, or house, or whatever you want to call it. Looks sort of like a flat, I guess, downstairs. So, regardless, we pick up a starter Pokemon, which in this case is Cyndaquil. Although we can't use it, it means that our rival gets a Totodile, which in my opinion is arguably the most difficult Pokemon for us to face. Without further ado, we go through all the storyline stuff, like speaking to Mr. Pokemon and the mystery egg and stuff like that. Before you know it, we have our first rival encounter. I won't actually show this on screen because we won't actually be battling the rival on video, because we don't yet have a flying type. But we do end up calling them cats, because if there's one thing that I think cats hate, is they fucking hate birds. Absolutely despise them. We have a bit of a run-in with the cops, who for some reason do let us go, and then we're finally able to do the catching tutorial and grab our true starter for the run, which is actually a Pidgey. Quite an underwhelming Pokemon, I must say. When I was younger I used to absolutely love the Pidgey line, but now I think it's opened my eyes to just being absolutely shite. Regardless, it's our starter. We use a random word generator, we name it Bedroom, and welcome to the team. Quickly after this, and this will be the theme for the start of the game, we're able to get another encounter. I believe this one's on Route 46, so we end up picking up a Spearow, which when it's evolved, or at this point anyway, it is going to be our carry for most of the early game, especially that Fearow. It's just such a deadly Pokemon. It's absolutely brilliant. We end up naming that Pizza, and now that I think about it, that's probably the reason I don't like Pidgey anymore, is because it's so superior. Following this, we end up being able to catch a Caterpie, which when it's fully evolved, it will be a Butterfree, which with Compound Eyes is just such a useful Pokemon, and one that I'm really grateful I have on the team. We end up naming that one Courage, and hopefully it can show a bit of that throughout the run. Again, straight onto it, we catch a Zubat in the Dark Cave, which we end up naming Country. Crobat is an insane Pokemon, so I'm so glad to have that as well. We then quickly take care of some shenanigans in the Sprout Tower, meet our arsehole rival once again, Cats, who is just, the running theme is that he's just an absolute dick and useless. I won't be showing a lot of his rival fights on screen because they're not really worth watching. But what is worth watching is us catching this Hoppy on the route south of Azalea Town. You know what, without spoiling it, Hoppy ends up being such an important Pokemon for me. We end up naming it Nation, and that is us ready for gym number 1. You might see on screen we've evolved Caterpie into a Butterfree using Switch Trainers. Now we're able to use that on the team. And then we finally take on our nemesis flying type user, Falconer. So he starts Pidgey, we also start Pidgey, but ours is loads better and we hit it really low with a quick attack before being able to take it down on the second turn. Next up comes out this illegal Pidgeotto, which is level 13 as you'll see on screen. I stupidly go for Sand Attack, completely forgetting that it has an ability which stops its accuracy loss. So we switch straight over to Courage, who handily tanks a Gust, only take 12 HP. And we're able to put Pidgeotto to sleep, which, as you'll see as the run progresses, becomes a common tactic of mine. We switch over to Pizza, who is arguably our strongest Pokemon at this point. Pidgeotto thankfully stays asleep and we're able to hit it with a Peck. A critical hit means we take it to halfway before it wakes up and uses Roost anyway, which is a very annoying move. We hit a few Fury attacks, I'm hoping for a crit, seeing how much damage we do. Leaves it about 2/3 before healing it back up to Roost. To full with Roost, apologies. So at this point, I do think it's just going to become a staller match with Pidgeotto just being able to Roost as much as he wants. So I decided to hit the Pidgeotto with a few Leers, taking a few hits down to 10 HP. I think we might have been risking a crit there. Before long, we're able to switch over to Courage after 3 Leers, put Pidgeotto back to sleep, and then after that, it's pretty easy. We're able to switch straight over to Country, who's able to take care of the rest of the fight from here. So Pidgeotto stays asleep on the first turn. We hit a strong bite, which takes it to just below half, so I know one more will take it down and get us our first gym badge. Absolutely buzzing with that, and it shows that my flying type team is much more superior. We've sprinkled in a few different types other than normal flying, and we're able to take it down pretty easily. We then have our first encounters with Team Rocket down in the Slowpoke. Well, this useless bastard has broke his back apparently, so isn't able to help. What an idiot. This place leaves me depressed every time I come down here. Seeing all these Slowpokes in pain without the tail is just absolutely depressing. We do take care of Proton. It's not really worth me showing on the screen because it's a pretty easy fight and one that didn't cause me any issues like the majority of the Team Rocket fights to come as well. So we'll just move on quickly to the second gym. Next up, it's time for the second gym, the gym leader being Bugsy, who, after all this time playing Pokemon, I'm not sure if it's actually a male or a female character. So if anyone knows in the comments, please tell me. So Bugsy starts with Cypher, who is an absolutely venomous Pokemon. It can hit you really hard with U-turn, cause some serious damage to the team. So I'm not taking any risks. Despite you going for Leah, we just put it straight to sleep and we switch out to Pizza. Pizza's able to slam it with quite a strong aerial ace, obviously a super effective move, to just below half before the Citrus Berry recovers a bit. After that, I know we can kill with another aerial ace, so we take it out without any problems there. Thankfully, it was just snoozing the entire time, and yet again, Nation is coming up handy in a gym fight, so good to see it. Metapod comes out, so I decide to share the love because Bedroom is on the cusp of evolving. So we hit Metapod with a Gust to just below half again. I'm surprised that it isn't able to take it down, but nevertheless, another Gust is able to strike it down. Finally, we have Kakuna. I'm not sure why Bugsy doesn't evolve his Pokemon, because if he did, this would be a really dangerous gym. But a few Gusts later, and a Super Potion later, we're able to take down Kakuna for our second gym badge. Straight after the gym battle, and thankfully I remembered to heal, we have our first proper rival battle versus Cats. Now that we have a team of flying type Pokemon, I can finally take these a bit more seriously. Thankfully, due to the strength of our team and sheer amount of numbers, we dispatched this without any real issues at all, as you can see, taking down the Zubat the final blow. This lets us head straight over to Goldenrod, where we can set up to face the third gym leader, Whitney. Whitney can be a real issue for our team if we allow Miltank to set up rollouts, because obviously a lot of our team are weak to it. I think Skiploom's the only one that isn't suffering from super effective damage there. Thankfully, Clefairy comes out first. It doesn't do anything of note. We're able to swipe it down with 2 aerial aces from Pizza. Next up is Miltank, who I'm very nervous for, so I hit it straight with a Leer, tank and a Stomp, with pizza. Then it's rinse and repeat. We're over to Courage, who I'm planning to put Miltank to sleep. I am aware that Miltank does have a Lumberry and will wake up, but I'm hoping for a rollout miss, so then we can hit it straight again with Sleep Power. Unfortunately, that isn't to be, and Courage goes down, our first loss of the run. Nation comes out and takes a rollout herself before putting the Miltank to sleep. After this, you know how it goes from here on. I heal up to full with Synthesis and put the with the Bovine Beast put to sleep. I'm able to quickly take it down after a few tail whips, and Bedroom is able to deliver the final blow. Unfortunately, we did have to lose a Pokemon there, but it isn't a Nuzlocke without losses, unless you're perfect. And after this, we're able to catch a more than suitable replacement in Cypher, who we end up naming Baseball. Continuing on our journey, we make our way to the Burn Tower to absolutely fuck up Usain's hopes and dreams by scaring off the legendary Pokemon that he's been chasing forever. We just ruined that, essentially. What can I say? We then battle Cats again. It's just as easy as the last time we dealt with him. I don't think we'll have any issues with him throughout the run at all. Following this, we don't waste any time. We jump straight into Gym 4. Morty, the Ghost type, uses Gym. Not gonna lie, prior to this, I was absolutely terrified about this battle. I've had issues with Morty in the past, so I thought it would be the same this time. Little did I know, the Technician boosted Pursuit using Cypher just absolutely steamrolls through the gym. I think the Gengar was the only one who lived one hit, but he only used Mean Luck, so we dealt with that pretty easily. Next up, because we have access to Surf now, we head to the Ruins of Alph, and I managed to catch a Natu. I was really excited to use it, but it turns out that Xatu just doesn't land any good moves at all. It's only good for using the screens, basically. Nevertheless, I named it Gravy, and we do add it to the team eventually. Moving on, we fuck with Usain's day once again by scaring off Suicune. I'm seriously surprised he hasn't tried to murder us or something just yet. He does try and battle us, but it doesn't really go anywhere. We're then able just to easily access Gym 5 from I forget the name of this town actually. Fuck knows, who cares? We take on Gym 5, which is a fighting type gym, which should be pretty easy. There's only 2 Pokemon, and as you can see, Primeape just gets absolutely destroyed with a single Technician boosted wing attack. This brings out Poliwrath, who I'm expecting the same result with. He hangs on with a Sliver before his Berry, and then he's able to fire off a Surf, which thankfully doesn't do too much damage. We fire off another wing attack and we take the badge. Following this, we're able to surf just slightly to the east. We gather ourselves a Mantine named Hurricane. It's got good coverage and it's quite a decent replacement for what would be a Gyarados, so I'm quite happy with that. We're then able to head back to Olivine City and cure this Ampharos, which I absolutely love this scene. As an Ampharos lover, it just melts my heart. We then go back to the game corner where we're able to grind out for some really useful items such as a metronome for Cypher, amongst Silk Scarfs and a Sword Stance TM as well. We then head east. We're able to just kill this irrelevant Pokemon as well, which it's always quite satisfying being able to KO a shiny Pokemon. And speaking of KOs, we then watch Lance just absolutely murder someone for no reason at all. Bit of a weird guy, Lance. Then we take on the 7th, but technically the 6th gym. So the Ice-type user, who does arguably pose us quite a threat, obviously with our weakness to Ice types. But Baseball is able to take good care of the Seal. In hindsight, I would have used Sword Stance there, but I do use it against the Dugong, who just retaliates with an Aurora Beam, which we were able to tank quite handily. If it had crit, we would have been dead. After this though, we're able to slam with a wing attack and take it down in one hit after a Sword Stance boost. Piloswine comes out, and then we do the same with this, with Metronome on top of it. It's able to cleanly take care of the Piloswine. After an easy battle, we then turn to a difficult one, Jasmine, the 6th gym leader. It starts off pretty easy, and I had a pretty good tactic running into this that I would just stall it out with Nation. We do so here by putting it to sleep. the Magnemite that comes out first, and then Leech Seed. I'll skip the rest because we just whittle it down, stalling, and we end up going into Steelix on full HP, which is absolutely perfect. Rinse and repeat, we do the same with Steelix, who, even though he wakes up and smashes us with an Iron Tail and Sandstorm residual damage, we're able to take it down with the Leech Seed damage, doing the rest that we needed to take it down. So going into the final Magnemite, I knew that I couldn't be complacent at this point, so I just went for the same tactic that we were following the whole time. Put Magnemite to sleep, set up the Leech Seed, and then I thought we're just going to whittle it down from there. Obviously this didn't go to plan. We ended up getting paralysed. It woke up, and then we missed our sleep powder as well, so I thought I best change. So I thought, who is the least relevant of the team? And I thought it's Bedroom, so I wanted a clean switch. So we had to let Bedroom, unfortunately, go down. So our second loss. After this, we just swapped around for ages, just doing as much damage as we could. We managed to tank a Thunderbolt with Crobat, and then Magnemite suffers the same fate as Steelix and goes down to Elite Seed. RIP Bedroom. Next up on our journey, as a 10-year-old, we're tasked with infiltrating the radio tower and taking down Team Rocket once again, making them disband just like that. And then we've got time for Gym Leader number 8, Claire, the Dragon type user. So this one's obviously one of the trickier gym battles that we have. Obviously a flying type team, there's not too much we can do against Dragon types, but 3 wing attacks takes down Gyarados first. We're able to U-turn out of this and bring in Hurricane, who, thanks to the game corner, we have taught Ice Beam, which absolutely obliterates through Dragonair. Next one comes out, and I'm hoping that this will be a one-hit KO, but unfortunately it isn't, and we end up getting paralysed. We bring back in Baseball, thinking that they were going to heal, but they didn't, so we're very lucky they didn't go for a more powerful move. We U-turned into Nation, who is going to do the usual stuff that Nation's known for. We put that Kingdra to sleep. We get some Leech Seed down, and then we just whittle it down over time. I was just still at this point just shitting myself, thinking I can't believe I almost just lost my most important Pokemon by thinking Claire was going to heal. Thankfully she didn't, and we get gym badge number 8. Following the last gym, we make our way down Belchime Way, or whatever it's called, which is one of the most beautiful places in all of Johto, in my opinion. And then we take on Ho, after obviously defeating the Kimono Girls in the Dance Theatre. We make swift work of Ho just to take the piss. And then on Victory Road we take on Cats for the last time, which again isn't at all a challenge. Nation completely nullifies Magneton, and the rest is just dealt with by sheer power. So then it is time for the Elite Four. Starting off, we have Will, who is somewhat frightening. Obviously, a psychic type trainer. We do have Country though, who has Bite. He can deal out quite a bit of damage, which he does to Xatu on turn 1 before getting confused. Thankfully, we break through on the second turn and we're able to take down Xatu, which, as I mentioned before, a really disappointing member of my team and one that I was looking forward to using so much. Unfortunately, against Jinx, we don't have too much luck. Get confused twice before being put to sleep, so then it is time for our MVP of the run, Baseball. We hit a Pursuit, which just takes down Jinx, I think, which I was very happy about because it was already pissing me off after all the confusion and stuff like that. We hit another Pursuit as we have a Metronome attached, but unfortunately it doesn't quite KO the Ace, so it can fire back with Aerial Ace to take us really low before we take it down. That was a close one, and if it crit we would have been dead definitely, so I'm glad that we managed to survive. Executor comes out, so we bring out Hurricane. He's able to smash it with a massive boosted Choice Specs Ice Beam, which takes it down in one hit. We were quite fortunate because it did deal out a lot of damage before we took it down. Slowbro comes out, so we need to go to someone else. So for some reason I decided to go for Fearow here. I thought it'd do a lot more damage than it did, which was unfortunate, so we try a Pursuit just to see if that does any more. It actually does less. All the while Slowbro is wasting its time. It is getting its defense up, but it isn't doing anything that can hurt us offensively. So we switch over to Nation, who typically misses a sleep powder, but is able to connect on the second one to put it to sleep. We then hit it with a Giga Drain, which doesn't do as much damage as I would have hoped. but it does help us get a bit of health back before we can hit it again with another one to put it right in the red. It does wake up, but it only goes for Curse for some reason again, and Will is able to full restore, unfortunately. We rinse and repeat the tactic. If it's not broke, why try and fix it? We hit it with Elite Seed, and then we're able to smash it with another Giga Drain while it's asleep, which does a little bit more damage. Thankfully, Slowbros, we're having good luck with it staying asleep because we haven't had the best luck in this battle so far, and we're able just to whittle it down slowly but surely with a combination of Giga Drain. Unfortunately, it does full restore, but then we're able to hit a massive critical hit to take down Slowbro. And next up is Koga. I'm not concerned for Koga at all. Obviously, he's a bug type user, so Baseball is going to be really good in this. He does take out Ariados pretty easily, and then proceeds to wing attack sweep the entire team without any problems at all. It's pretty easy. The only damage he takes is from a Toxic from Muck, and we're able to move straight onto Bruno, which, as you can imagine, is going to be the same story. What we do in this match is we basically just go for Sword Stance 3 times over, just being careful that we don't get whittled too low by hitting on top. And then after that, we just sweep the full team with Aerial Ace. Really easy, really nice, and it brings us nicely onto Karen, who I'm hoping it shouldn't be too difficult either. We start again, just rinsing the same tactic we've used the whole time. We go for the Sword Stance while Umbreon just decides to go for double team. Fortunately at this point we don't have Aerial Ace, but we do have Wing Attack, which is able to take down the Umbreon. Next up is Murkrow, and with the Metronome attached as well, I'm fairly confident we can hit it with a Wing Attack and kill it, which we do. Next up is Houndoom, and for some reason I decided to go for U-turn here. I'm not sure why. It does take down Houndoom, but yeah, it causes complications further on, which we'll see in a moment. So Hurricane comes out, and with Choice Specs is able just to absolutely obliterate Vileplume with an Ice Beam there, bringing it into the red before Paralysis. Obviously she is able to full restore here, but we just retaliate again with another Ice Beam, getting a critical hit, this time to take down Vileplume. Out comes Gengar, who is threatening. Obviously we are paralysed, which does come into effect on the first turn. The second one we are able to bring it, hit it with an Ice Beam and bring it below half. Unfortunately, I forget that Gengar has Destiny Bond, and due to paralysis we are outsped and we get took down. That was absolutely devastating, but we have to move on because now we have Lance, the Dragon Master. So going into Lance, I'm not too concerned because we still have a team of 5 against his 6 Dragon types. Well, his 3 Dragon types and 3 other random Pokemon. So we're able to use the same tactic that we usually do. We start with Nation, put that Gyarados to sleep and start setting up the Elite Seeds. At this point I want to go for a Baseball sweep, so we start setting up the Sword Stances using 2 while Gyarados still stays asleep, thankfully. I can see that Gyarados is getting a bit low at this point, so I hit it with a Wing Attack to take it down. So I have got the Metronome still attached to Baseball, so each and every turn that Wing Attack's getting stronger, which thankfully allows us to take down Aerodactyl with a 1-hit KO. I did think if it's rock type and it might resist that, but thankfully we do take it down. And we also get to take down Charizard next, who I was very frightened to face. We've got one of his 3 illegal Dragonites coming up. This one is no match for Baseball or Cypher, as another Wing Attack slams it to the ground. This next up is the same thing, and this one gets took down too. All that leaves left is Lance's Ace, the level 50 Dragonite, but Cypher, he's been there and done it before, so takes it down with a single Wing Attack. And that is the Elite Four and Champion complete. Last but not least on our flying type journey through Johto and Kanto, it's time to take on Red, the final boss. The level cap for this is level 80, despite him having a level 88 Pikachu, so we're just going to go for it. We've climbed Mount Silver. We could only use 5 members on the team due to the need to have Rock Climb, so we just start as we mean to go on by putting Pikachu to sleep and U-turning straight out to Baseball. You already know what's coming here, as Cypher's absolutely trivialised the majority of this game. We set up one Sword Stance while Pikachu still stays asleep, and the hail starts to do a bit of buff damage. We hit another Sword Stance, which was perhaps unnecessary at this point, while both of us still take a bit of hail chip damage. We then smash Pikachu with an Aerial Ace, which we're able to get after beating the Elite Four. And then you already know what's going to happen here. Charizard comes out and he's absolutely obliterated by a Metronome and Sword Stance boosted Aerial Ace. This Cypher, he's just crazy. It's opened my eyes to how good he and both Jumpluff can be. So Lapras comes out next, who obviously offers a bit of resistance to Aerial Ace, but that is just still absolutely slammed down. I think he even gets a special defense buff from the hail, but could be wrong there. Next up is Snorlax, and you already know what is happening here. Baseball just slams the big fat bastard down to the ground, and we're just absolutely steamrolling through this team. Blastoise comes out, but of course he is no match for Baseball. It's his Aerial Ace slices him up, and he falls to the ground. That leaves one more person in our way, which is Venusaur. We take one last Aerial Ace, and we take down Venusaur to complete Heart Gold with only a flying type team in a hardcore Nuzlocke. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I have very much so loved recording this video, enjoyed spending some time with some new flying type friends. So if you have enjoyed it, please feel free to stick around and watch a few more of my videos, particularly the ones with Chase. We have a laugh doing that, and you might notice my commentary is a bit better in those videos because I trip over my words a lot, so I do apologise, but I'm much more natural when it comes to just having a conversation with Chase. So thank you for watching. I hope to see you on some of those videos, and I'll catch you next time.